Hello, you are listening to the Natural Healing Show for UK Health Radio. My name is Catherine Carrigan, medical intuitive healer, Amazon #1 best-selling author. You can find out more about me and my work at catherinecarrigan.com and unlimitedenergynow.com. While you're there, definitely sign up for my newsletter so you can learn even more about how you can heal yourself naturally. Now, I've got a special guest for you today. It's me. I'm going to be talking with you today about how you can stay sane when the world goes crazy. So, let me tell you a little story about how this broadcast came about. So, recently I received a text via WhatsApp from a client in the UK, and she said, and I'm going to read to you her text, as a very experienced medical intuitive, what would you recommend for someone who is psychically too open and picks up what is going on around her and in the world? And this client mentioned several flower essences that are well known for psychic protection. They're fabulous. Australian bush flower essence, fringe violet, soul shield plus, and shield of light by healing orchids are fabulous. But she said, I need more than meditation. So this broadcast is for you, it's for her, and it's a reminder about how we can all stay sane when the world goes crazy. So I want to start by giving you a visualization. And this is a visualization of yourself and how you can see yourself. Now, I want you to visualize a cross. Now, in Christianity, the symbol of the cross is well known. It's the symbol of Christianity. I respect all religions. So if you're not a Christian, I want you to hang in there and listen as I explain what I'm talking about. All right. So I want you to visualize yourself as a cross. So the vertical line of the cross is grounded to the earth and connected to the divine at the same time. So when you're completely grounded to the earth, then the winds of time, the winds of history can come and go, but you're grounded. When you're connected to the divine, then you are receiving your divine guidance, then you're under divine protection, then your soul will know where to go, what to do, where to be, and how to show up. Now, the cross, when you think about the arms of the cross has to do with maintaining your connection to the world, to your family, your community. Now, if you think about stress, there's two hormones we secrete when we are stressed, cortisol and adrenaline. And one of the many functions of cortisol is it literally tightens your muscles. So many people who are highly sensitive, when the world appears to go crazy, their tendency is to want to put their head in the sand, to shut off the news, to pretend nothing's happening. But when you try and pretend nothing's happening, that's like trying to keep a lid on a pot of boiling water. It takes a lot of energy to try and keep a lid on a pot of boiling water, and it may not work. So, another way of understanding this, if you think about being in a crowded elevator, a lot of times our tendency is to like shrink in so that other people can fit into the elevator. You are actually safer energetically when you expand your energy. So when you expand your love, you expand your presence. Your arms are an extension of your heart chakra. And so when you ground yourself to the earth and connect to the divine, and then share your loving presence with the world, then you're actually safer. You are going to be less affected by the craziness in the world. So let's talk about how to do this. How do you ground your energy? Grounding activities, spending time in nature. The rhythm of the earth is slow. So when you spend time gardening, walking barefoot, taking time to be at the rhythm and pace of the earth. There's even grounding sheets you can put on your bed that often help people sleep better. Spending time slowing down, being in the here and now, grounding. Nurturing your connection to the divinity is the other end of the vertical. Prayer, meditation, attending spiritual services, whether this is a church, a synagogue, or or any other kind of spiritual community. Praying for peace. So when you notice that there is conflict in the world, a very important thing to do is to actually pray for peace, to pray to for the world to be at peace and pray to for you to be at peace. One of the things that we have to understand also that you can do is create a peaceful home where your family can feel safe, loved, and protected. And when you're at peace, then you provide a peaceful place for which everyone around you can resonate. Now, it's a law of physics that all living beings resonate to the strongest biological oscillator. So if you feel fine, frustrated, insecure, neurotic, and emotional, that's the vibe that you send out into the world. However, when you ground to the earth, connect to the divine, and spread your loving presence to everyone around you, visualizing your arms putting a peaceful energy around everyone in your community, in your family, in your sphere of influence, then when you're grounded, connected to the divine, and sharing your loving presence with everyone around you, then everyone around you who's in a fearful state, an angry state, a confused state, they can resonate and synchronize with your own peaceful energy. So you have to understand that you set the vibration for yourself and everyone around you. Now, I do healing work to clear geopathic stress. So, what is geopathic stress? Geopathic stress is stress that we humans can experience from our environment. There's geopathic stress from the natural world. This could be tornadoes, thunderstorms, hurricanes, underground streams, and so on. And there's also man-made stress. So I have long lists of man-made stress. This can be EMFs, electromagnetic fields. I did a whole radio show about the dangers of EMFs and how many of us who spend so much time on our computers and our cell phones would feel better if we used little EMF protection devices. So electromagnetic fields from computers, cell phones, microwaves, cell towers. This is EMF. That's a form of geopathic stress. And I have long lists of geopathic stress, but war is geopathic stress. Now, so in when I do my healing work to clear geopathic stress, we have to understand that geopathic stress can affect any layer of your field. Physical, it can affect your organs, your energy system, your acupuncture meridians, your chakras, your breath, the emotions, your emotions. So it can cause you to feel certain emotions, and it can affect you, your mental body, your thoughts and beliefs. So, for example, if you believe that the world is going down the tubes, that's a mental belief that you're projecting out into the world. So, it's really important at this time that we pay attention to our inner thoughts. And it can also affect your spiritual body. So, for example, if you feel like, again, if your thought is, this is the world is going in the wrong direction, and then what's the use? Why should I be here? The world is not a friendly place to me. That's affecting you at the soul level. Einstein said the most important question is whether or not you believe that the universe is a friendly place. So I believe the world is a friendly place, and that's what I experience. So we have to understand that humans have been at war for the vast majority of recorded human history. According to the Atrium Society, only about 8% of the last 3,400 years have been considered periods of complete peace. So even though we prefer peace, we want peace, we hope to create peace, we have to understand that conflict is actually, unfortunately, a part of human history, a part of human experience. And so as we learn to ground our energy, connect to the divine, and expand our loving presence to the world around us, then we can have a better experience during times of war. But realize if you are actually being affected by war and you realize that you're being affected by war, you can contact me and I can do a healing with you to clear geopathic stress. If you live in an large urban area, I live in Atlanta, New York, London, Tokyo, then you're going to be experiencing a lot more geopathic stress than someone living on a farm or out in nature. So it's just it has to do with the stress from your environment. And most of us are experiencing a tremendous amount of geopathic stress already. And then if you add war on top of it, it can really feel like it's too much. Now, there's a technique called cocooning. I've written a blog article about this, and it's a form of psychic protection that's very, very effective. What's great about cocooning is it's free. You can do it anytime, anywhere, and it's highly available to you. Um, a good analogy that when I teach people to cocoon is if I have to walk my dog and it's raining, I put on my raincoat. I could go out walking in the rain, but why? It's so much easier and more pleasant to walk in the rain if I put my raincoat on. And I actually have a long Barber jacket, a hat, a wonderful hunter knee-length boots, an umbrella. My dog has a little raincoat that I put on her. And when we put on our raincoats and our rain gear, and then when we go out in the rain, it's a lot easier. Cocooning is very much like that. Okay, so how do you cocoon yourself? So first, I want to give you a visualization of a chicken egg. So a chicken egg has the white shell on the outside, and then the egg white on the inside and the little egg yolk on the inside. So hard shell, egg white, and then the egg yolk. So in the first level of cocooning, and I'm going to guide you through this now, you can shut your eyes, take 3 deep breaths, and then I want you to visualize the white light of protection all the way around you. So you want to visualize yourself in the center of an egg of light. So the white light's going to go above you or all around you, below you. So you're surrounded by the white light of protection. Now, around this white light of protection, I want you to visualize the blue light of healing. And as you know, there are many different colors of blue. This is the same color as like an aquamarine crystal. So it's a light blue. It's a beautiful, brilliant light blue. So shut your eyes, take 3 deep breaths. And then around the white light, I want you to visualize a beautiful blue light all the way around you, above you, below you, in front of you, behind you. To visualize the blue light of healing. Now, so you've got the blue light of healing around the white light of protection. And on the very outer layer, you visualize the golden light of transformation. So if you've ever had the blessing of being at an art museum and looking at paintings from medieval art, you'll notice that saints are usually depicted as having a golden halo. Golden light is the highest level of your aura. So when you surround yourself with the golden light of transformation, you're bringing in the highest vibration possible to protect you and to open yourself up to divine transformation. So shut your eyes, take 3 deep breaths. Now, around the blue light of healing, I want you to visualize the golden light of transformation. So call in the golden light above you, below you, in front of you, behind you, to the right and left, all the way around you. So you can cocoon your energy every day. If you're a highly sensitive person, I recommend that you cocoon yourself every day before you go out into the world. And with that, let's take a break and listen to one of our commercial sponsors here at UK Health Radio. You're listening to Catherine Carrigan, medical intuitive healer. I'm talking about how to stay sane when the world goes crazy. We'll be right back. So many people feel that it's easier to just bury your head in the sand and to pretend that the world is not changing. But the truth of the matter is, the world is always changing. The only thing constant in nature is change. So, a really great affirmation is, I am safe, it's only change. You can affirm, I am safe, it's only change. And that's a great affirmation. Um, Earlier this year, I did an interview with a gentleman. 2025 is a 9 year, so it's a year of letting go. So we may have been comfortable with what went before, but this is a year of profound change where we do let go. And when you kind of understand that, it's like, okay, it may not be comfortable, but I'm supposed to be letting go. So it's definitely true that we all need to pay attention to how much news we can tolerate. Many sensitive people, if they watch videos of any kind of violence, that image gets emblazoned into our brain. And I know I've experienced that myself. So that can be a form of trauma as well. So everyone needs to pay attention to how much news you can personally tolerate. And if you're sensitive to news, you may want to put a time limit on it. But again, I feel that trying to pretend that the world is not changing and trying to ignore what's happening is not, I feel, the best avenue. So let me tell you a little story. So in 2005, in summer of 2005, I was in London, and there was on July 7th, 2005, four Islamic suicide bombers struck London's transport network, killing 52 people and injuring over 770 others. So the attack happened on a Thursday. So I began to pick up something in the field on a Monday. And I remember I was on a train. I just felt this huge wave of incoming negativity. I'd never felt anything like that before. And I really wasn't sure what it was because I'd never felt anything like that. So the next day, Tuesday, I was in a crystal shop and I saw two crystals. I saw those and I thought, I need those. So again, the big picture is I was paying attention and I was listening to my intuition. So I bought the crystals, went home, consulted a crystal book, and the crystals, they were aqua aura quartz, are for to protect you from a psychic attack. So aqua aura quartz protects you against psychic attack. Well, on the Thursday in question, where the terrorists blew up the subway in a bus, I had a gentleman, a friend of mine, had scheduled for 10 clients to see me at his office. Well, I called the day before and I canceled everyone. So I listened to my guidance, and my guidance said that if I went into London on that Thursday, I would have trouble getting back. So I listened to my guidance and I canceled. So again, You don't want to turn off your intuition. You don't want to put your head in your sand. You want to actually listen to your inner guidance, and that's going to help you and everyone around you. So as I reflect back, because I canceled the day before, maybe people didn't have time to like reschedule. So Thursday morning, the morning of the attack, I was out taking a walk because I had canceled all my work for the day. It was a beautiful day. I come back from an hour-long walk in the sunshine, and the TV was on, and I saw that terrorists had blown up the subway, but I wasn't there. So it's really important that you listen to your intuition and notice what you are guided to do. So again, when the world goes crazy, you want to listen to your intuition, and because you are alive now, your soul has a purpose for being here. Now, your soul's purpose may not be to be the peacemaker, to stop a war, or to, resolve any kind of conflict. Perhaps at the soul level, you are here to make your corner of the world a better place, to be a better friend, to be a better mother or father, to be the peaceful one, the happy person. Again, when your energy is happy and at peace, then other people can experience happiness and peace around you. At the end of last year, my yoga students, they gave me a beautiful card and they said, "What you bring us is peace." And I thought, what an incredible, incredible compliment. So you want to really listen to your intuition and notice, what am I guided to do at this particular time? So again, when you're a highly sensitive person and you feel overwhelmed by the energy in the world, you could put your head in the sand. You could try and pretend nothing's happening. Or again, you can stay grounded, connected to the divine, extend your loving presence through your own heart energy, and then ask from the soul level, what am I guided to do at this time? What difference is my soul here to make in this world at this time? And a really good prayer is to pray to be guided to the people, places, and opportunities where your soul can make the greatest difference and be of greatest benefit. And, sometimes again, we think, oh, I've got to find the cure for cancer, or, some grand thing. Perhaps it's simply to be of great kindness to everyone around you so that when other people come in your presence, they know they can experience peace. They know they can experience happiness. They know they can experience joy. I'm a gardener. I have a beautiful all organic garden. And everyone who comes into my garden, it's like constant, wow, 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 this is beautiful and that is beautiful. And of course, my garden is always changing. And my garden always changing, it helps me to be at peace with change in the world. Because sometimes I look out from my healing room. My healing room is full of orchids. And then I look out onto my beautiful garden. And sometimes I think, wow, now is the most beautiful time. And then a week later, everything's different, and then in the winter, the snow comes. And I remember there was one morning when I went down and my orchids were blooming. And through the window, I could see the sun rising over the snow that had just fallen. It was just heaven. And then at other times in the spring, the azaleas bloom, and I look out and it's just complete heaven. And this spring, I had a bluebird family nesting in my bluebird box. And it was just such wonder and awe watching the mommy and daddy bluebirds working together to feed the little babies in their nest. So again, taking the time to be that person. So everything is vibration. Keep your own vibration as high as possible. So, what that means in simple terms is to stay as happy as possible. In my work, part of what I do is I help figure out the top 5 things that you need to feel happy in your life right now. So, because you're changing, life is changing. If you're alive, you're older than you were 5 years ago. What you need to feel happy can be different. And I've published 2 books, not just one, but 2 books about how to heal depression naturally without drugs. And you can focus on healing the depression, and you can also focus on what is it that I need to feel happy right now, right? So for me, that some of the things that make me happy are lying in my hammock or walking my dog or spending time with my friends or teaching yoga. And you want to really notice in your life what lifts your energy, what lifts your vibration, and spend more time doing that, and then also notice what tanks your energy. I don't like being in chaos. So I try to keep my home and garden relatively neat because when everything's in chaos, it's hard for me to find that peacefulness, right? So you, in simple terms, you want to stay as happy as possible in order to keep your vibration as high as possible. Now, also, when you feel like the world has gone crazy, often when you're a sensitive person, part of what you need is simply to give yourself more time to process. So, what does this look like? More time to be in your own energy. So, a lot of times when there's a lot of chaos in the world, people have trouble finding your own vibration. In other words, people get so swept up into the chaos, into the fear, into the anger that you can't find you. So spending time to be on your own, in your own vibration, so you remember, okay, this is my home frequency, right? This is how I feel. This is my home frequency. And then when you notice chaos, you can go, wait a minute, that's not me. I'm not in chaos. Other people may be in chaos. The world may be in chaos, but my own vibration is grounded to the earth, connected to the divine, and extending my loving presence to everyone around me. So, giving yourself more time to process. So, what does this look like? Literally, time to do absolutely nothing. So, for me, I lie in my hammock. My hammock is so important to me that I actually got a second hammock, a portable hammock, so that when I travel, I can take a hammock with me. And I have a hammock on my main porch where I can lie and listen to the birds and enjoy the sunshine and just be at peace. And then I got a hammock chair, yellow leaf hammocks. They support people who in an endangered community by having them make these beautiful hammocks. So giving yourself time to process, time to be quiet, time to listen to your own inner guidance. And with that, let's take another break and listen to a message from our commercial sponsor here at UK Health Radio. My name is Catherine Carrigan, medical intuitive healer, Amazon #1 best-selling author. I'm talking today about how to stay sane when the world goes crazy. We'll be right back. Catherine Carrigan, medical intuitive healer here. I'm talking to you about how to stay sane when the world goes crazy. So, one of the things that I think is important for us to do when you realize that you're getting swept up into chaos all the way around you, simply spend more time in self-care, whatever that looks like for you. So if you realize, okay, my energy's getting confused, my energy's getting chaotic, I'm getting scared, I'm feeling angry, then you can spend more time in self-care, whatever that looks like for you. So, what that looks like for me, again, lying in my hammock, practicing yoga, meditating, praying for peace, spending time with my dog, walking my dog, playing with my dog, spending time with my family, watching movies, hanging out. And again, just noticing all the things that I can do to bring myself back to my own center, grounding myself, connecting to the divine so that I am able to share my loving presence with everyone around me. Recently, I watched a Netflix documentary about Churchill at war during the time of the London Blitz. And, so often we forget history and we forget how much humankind has already lived through and experienced and survived. So during the London Blitz, there were 57 consecutive nights a bombing by the German Luftwaffe. So I probably didn't say that properly. And I remember when I watched this documentary and saw all these videos of people going down into the underground to try and get any kind of sleep, huddled in masses for 57 consecutive nights. One of the things they did say is everybody was exhausted, physically exhausted, emotionally, mentally, spiritually exhausted, I'm sure. It's like, well, how did they survive that? What was that helped everybody get through that? But if you look at that, one of the common denominators is the resilience of the human spirit. And so many of us highly sensitive people, we focus, I feel, too much on our sensitivity. I did another broadcast for the Natural Healing Show for UK Health Radio about how to become strong enough to handle being a highly sensitive person. I'm a highly sensitive person. I could not do what I do at the level I do it if I was not a highly sensitive person. I'm as sensitive now as I ever have been my entire life. When I was younger, I was catastrophically depressed. There were times when I felt suicidal. So I understand what it feels like to literally feel overwhelmed by the negativity of the world. I remember when I went to Brown University, I studied art history, and I had a friend who was an artist. And she asked if she could paint my portrait, and I said yes, of course. And it was a very interesting painting because she painted me as this bright little being, and there was just all the colors of the rainbow, this bright little being. And then I was surrounded by complete blackness, complete dark, complete black, and there was black paint dripping on me. And I remember at the time she gave me this portrait, I was really offended. I was really sort of angry about it, actually. And looking back, I thought she absolutely nailed it because that's how I was. I was this bright little being surrounded by darkness. The darkness was dripping on me, affecting me to a very terrible degree. And if you're a highly sensitive person and you're listening to me, you may actually feel that yourself. And you may feel that you're like that. My heart goes out to you. So, those of us who are highly sensitive, you have to realize that is your nature. But at the same time that we're highly sensitive, you have to realize that sensitivity is actually a gift. It's a form of intelligence, right? And it's not just intuition that's intelligence, it's the ability to read the energy of the world around you. So, for example, I told the story of being in London even before the terrorist attack, when there was absolutely zero warning. I felt the energy. I prepared. I bought crystals. I canceled clients who were supposed to see me. I was not on the subway, even though I would have had to go on the subway to meet everyone. So you want to learn your resilience and to feel your resilience, and to realize that you have the wisdom of your ancestors and the strength of your ancestors inside your DNA. Now, another simple thing you can do when you feel like you might be losing your mind due to the craziness in the world is to call on your angels for protection. So, one of the things that I do is I talk to my angels on a regular basis. I call in my angels. If you're not sure what angel to call in, I highly recommend that you call in Archangel Michael. There's beautiful meditations you can do with Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael is the angel of protection. You can call on the sword of Michael, the shield of Michael, the healing blue light of Michael. And if you meditate and pray to Archangel Michael, you will absolutely feel protected. Another wise thing to do is to call on your ancestors for wisdom, guidance, and strength. So, one of the healings that I do that's very, very profound is I do a 7 generation healing. So, what do I mean by this? So, if you think about yourself at the DNA level, so there's you, and then your parents, so your mom and your dad. So you have 50% of your DNA from your mom and 50% of your DNA from your father. And then you go to your grandparents. 25% of your DNA comes from each of your grandparents. Great grandparents, 12.5% of your DNA comes from your great grandparents. All the way back. And when you go to 7 generations, you go back to 1% of your DNA. So you literally have at the cellular level the wisdom, the guidance, the strength, the grace, the native intelligence, the experience of all of these ancestors. And they are that wisdom, guidance, strength, grace is in you. And when I do these 7 generation balances, it's almost 100%. Everybody cries because we all think we're alone. And the truth is, you're guided by angels. You have angels. Your angels love and protect you. You are divinely guided and divinely protected. And also, you have the strength, wisdom, and guidance and resilience of your ancestors with you all the time. And many people are shocked when you start talking to your ancestors to realize that they're literally walking beside you. I think there's a wonderful quote. I'm probably going to garble it. It's you are the result of the love of thousands. You are the result of the love of thousands. And so when we start to feel like we're losing our mind due to the world going crazy, we have to realize our ancestors lived through war. Our ancestors lived through famine. Our ancestors lived through slavery and through untold challenges that we ourselves in this world may not even possibly be able to imagine. So when we call on our ancestors for wisdom, guidance, and strength, that will help you to know what to do, to know where to go, and how to show up in the world. Another thing that you can do to stay sane when the world gets crazy is to get to know your personal energy. So, what do I mean by this? So, many of us are high in the psychic gift of clairsentience. So, basically, you're a feeler. And many people who are feelers, I'll give you an example. Let's say you go to Walmart and the checker is grumpy and depressed. And then you pick up that vibe and you leave Walmart and you're grumpy and depressed. Okay. And yet you haven't made the differentiation. Wait a minute, that's not my grumpiness. That's not my depression. So, an example that I give all the time is if you put your hand on a hot stove, you don't go, oh, what's wrong with my hand? You just take your hand off the stove and your hand doesn't feel hot. So, it's really super important to get to know your own personal energy, what you feel like, what you feel like and what isn't you, so that if and when you feel overwhelmed by the negativity in the world, you will recognize that's not your energy. So when I was on the train on the Monday before the terrorists blew up the subway on a Thursday, and I felt that huge wave of incoming negativity, I knew that was not my my energy. I was familiar enough to know what I feel like, to realize, wait a minute, that's not me. And that's something to pay attention to, right? I didn't know what it was because I'd never been in a terrorist attack before. Hopefully never will again. But you need to understand what your own energy feels like. And here's another story. And I think this is an important story to tell to highly sensitive people. I remember one night years ago, I went to dinner with my husband and my parents. And when I got home, I felt absolutely terrible. And the next morning, I felt terrible. And I went through my mind, it was like, okay, did I eat something funky? No. I could, was there conflict? No. I literally could not figure out what had happened. And I was, I was just like, I just feel completely horrible. I don't know why. And I remember calling my mentor in healing, and she said, you picked up on an IRA bombing. And later at the time, I found newspaper articles confirming that there had been a terrorist attack at the time that I felt terrible. So this is years ago, right? And I remember my mentor in healing said, tell your angels not to bother you unless there's something you can do about it. So if you think about the world and everything that's happening all over the world, and I won't even begin to list out the potential horrible things that could be happening in any moment, right? Any moment. And yet, again, if you think about vibration, again, when you keep your vibration high, then you're safe. When you keep yourself in a state of joy, in a state of peace, in a state of groundedness and divine connection, then you're going to be safe. And then if you ask your angels not to bother you with disruptive energy, unless there's something you could do about it. So, for example, when I was in London at that time, and this was the incident in London happened years after I felt terrible after the bombing. There was something I could do about it. I bought crystals. I canceled all my clients. I was not on the subway. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I knew where not to be, right? So just say a little prayer and ask your angels not to bother you about unfortunate events in the world unless there's something you can do about it. If there's something that you can do about it, then pray to be of divine assistance. Now, another thing that I want to talk about, one of the things that I see is I see lots of healers talking about highly sensitive people and what to do. And even in this broadcast, I've talked about many different techniques that you can do to help yourself stay sane even when the world goes crazy. But I want to talk about something really important, and that is that trauma tears holes in your energy field. So it's a law of physics that anytime there's a vertical electrical current, there's a magnetic field perpendicular to that. When you're standing up, you're vertical, and you have an aura. The New Agey people call it your aura. It's your human energy field. If you are someone who's experienced rape or any kind of abuse in your life, um, then there will be holes in your energy field. And when there's holes in your energy field, then you are much more likely to be affected by chaos, confusion, anger, and fear. I do healings to repair tears in the energy field. Another example, last week I did an energy field repair on a gentleman who had had an overdose. And he obviously overdosed on drugs, and his crown chakra was completely blown open. And so, if you are someone who's experienced abuse in your life and you know that, one of the things you can do to keep yourself more protected is to receive a healing on your energy field. And the average Reiki master person who's well intentioned, Reiki is fabulous. I'm a Reiki master teacher. I also practice unity field healing. those modalities are excellent, but they will not repair holes in the field. So you need somebody who go in and find out where the holes are in your field, and they can be anywhere. But I can guarantee you, I have stacks of papers that from clients who've been abused in their life, who've had holes in their field, and they feel dramatically better when there's no longer holes in your field. So I hope I have been of assistance. And again, I'm going to leave you with that visualization. Visualize yourself as a cross, ground to the earth, connect to the divine, expand your loving presence to everyone around you. And when you're grounded and divinely protected and extend your loving presence from your heart, you will feel much better. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Catherine Carrigan, medical intuitive healer, Amazon #1 best-selling author. You can find out more about me and my work at catherinecarrigan.com and unlimitedenergynow.com. While you're there, definitely sign up for my newsletter so you can learn even more about how you can heal yourself naturally. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.